All right, hey everyone, Justin Bennett here from Daily Price Action. And I want to talk to you today about the Euro USD because we have some action here. In fact, we have a lot of action. So I wrote about this over the weekend, and specifically I noted that this 10930, so 1.0930 was going to act as support. It was likely to attract buyers back here. And you'll notice that today we had this move lower, but since then, literally within about an hour, the pair has popped higher. And this is something that I've been warning people about. I actually said last week that the Euro USD had more room to the upside than downside. And what I specifically noted was this larger descending channel. So if I move back here, you can see that the euro has actually carved this broader descending channel. So notice we have this touchback here, up here, down here, and then back here we had another touch of resistance. So really back here the channel started to form. So this period right here the channel started to form, and then we had this touch right here, this retest off of resistance, and now notice how the pair has come into this confluence of support. So not only is 10930 a key horizontal level, but it's also this broader descending channel support, as well as this smaller descending channel support. So we've actually got three levels down here that are helping to prop up the Euro USD right now. And I think this is when you have to be really careful about selling any market, because if I just do something as simple as outline these swings, you'll notice that right now there is more potential for this thing to move higher than lower. If we just look at what's happened back here since about September of last year, so within the last 12 months, you can see that we've had this sort of zigzag, and it's been really messy. We've had a lot of price action that's just done this, back and forth through here. But right now, as long as this support area is intact, I do think that sellers need to be careful here, because the euro does have the potential to break out of this resistance area and move higher over the coming weeks. That said, I also think that as long as this 110.60 level is intact, I also don't want to be a buyer. So that's why right now I'm just letting this thing play out, because notice how this previous support area is now serving as resistance. So just like this level down here is serving as support, sellers are coming in here and driving price lower. So I don't want to go ahead and buy this. Sure, you could go ahead and trade this range between here if that's your style of trading. However, I like to catch the larger moves, and I think for that, we need to see the euro break out of this descending channel up here around the 111 mark. So if we see the pair come up here and break and close above this level, and then we get a rounded retest into this as new support, we could then see the Euro USD head up to 112. All right, so that's kind of what I'm watching right now. There is a potential to get another sell-off into this area, but given this bounce today, this is looking pretty constructive for buyers. So I would be really careful if you're trying to sell this right now. And something else I want to point out here, although this is not confirmed, we do have somewhat of a double bottom, or at least a potential double bottom forming right here, that this 110.60 level is the trigger line. So in other words, if we get a close above 110.60, that 112 area up here is exposed in my opinion. So while we still need to close above this channel resistance, this potential double bottom right here would actually play out if that 110.60 level starts to fail as resistance. And you can even see how these levels actually, so from 109.30 to 110.60 is about 140 pips, and from 110.60 up to 112 is also 140 pips. So this 112 area is a potential target if we see the euro start to break out. Notice that we also have a bunch of lows back here, as well as highs through here. So 112 is not only a key level, but it would also be the objective if we see 110.60 start to fail. Now, last but not least, I do want to just kind of point out that 110.60 and 111, this area through here, is resistance until it isn't. And what I mean by that is, as long as this is intact, as long as price stays below it on a daily closing basis, you have to respect the downside here. I don't want this video to come across as me saying that the euro is going to break out and that I'm buying it or anything like that. I'm neutral right now, but I am respecting the possibility of a bounce. I'm also not really interested in selling the euro at the moment because in my experience, any downside break of descending levels like these two tends to end up as a bear trap. So in other words, you get a close below it, maybe we trend below that area for a few days or maybe a week, and then you get a spike higher and a close back up above this area, and then the market takes off. So I don't want to sell if we do start to close below these two descending levels. I'm more interested, to be honest with you, in buying this thing if it does break out to the upside. I know that idea is certainly against the grain, considering that we are in this downtrend here, and we also have this larger downtrend. So I know that any type of buying here is against the grain, but that's also why whenever I do this, I tend to limit my position size, and I also like to scale in. So if we see a close above this resistance area, I'm not going to go in with a 4% or a 5% risk or even a 2 or 3% risk. I'll probably risk 1%, and then if we get some follow through, start to scale in as this thing moves higher. So I'm not going to go in this thing with any kind of crazy size, and I am still waiting for a break of this area up here. All right, so that kind of wraps this up for now. Just keep an eye on 110.60 to 111 resistance, and also respect the fact that this thing could move lower and retest that 109.30 area. However, just keep in mind that we are at this confluence of support down here, and given what we've seen over the last year or so, don't discount the potential for a higher Euro USD if this area starts to break. Before I sign off, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button below to get notified every time I post a video just like this one today. And also be sure to hit that like button and leave your comment below. I make it a point to respond to every single comment.